So good morning, Faye. Thank you for joining me at the pastor's breakfast, which I think that you have plans to eat and then run, right?
Well, I was planning on eating because I thought they were going to have biscuits and gravy as we've had before. But then when I learned that that might
Yeah, yeah.
not be on the menu, but I am going to be helping with communion at Mission Center Conference. So
Okay,
I
very
need
good.
to,
So run.
yeah, for
So
one.
if you saw Faye's backside running out the door right before this video, now you know why. So anyway, welcome, Faye. I wanted to give you a chance just to introduce yourself first. Tell everybody who you are, where you serve, how long you've been pastor, and anything else you want to share.
Okay. Well, I'm Fae Jackson. My home congregation is Southridge in Southwest Washington. And I have served as a pastor or on the pastor team for I'm not really sure, off and on for I think 12 to 15 years. I did notice that this was a question. There were a couple of questions about specific times, which of course Donald would be worried about because he likes numbers. I don't. So I don't know. I've just been doing this for I think almost 15 years of serving
Wow.
on the pastor team, but not
Okay.
continuous.
How about other congregations? Have you worked there too, or if you live in Southridge
Um,
almost for all of it?
for the time that I have been in most active, I mean, I've been a church member all my life, but I have been only actively serving in the church with the Southridge congregation. I also served as an LSM for a few years for the Salem congregation. The last few years, which as I reflect on my time as pastor, have been the best of times and the worst of times. Of course, it's been very difficult because of COVID.
Okay. Well, you know that the theme of the pastor's breakfast is the courage to step back. And the reason we asked you to do this interview is because you have had the courage to lately step back from some of your roles. I'd like for it if you could explain to the pastors that are gathered here what roles you've decided to step back from and why is important as well.
Well, the primary role that I'm stepping back from is serving on the pastor team. In fact, we just had our elections yesterday at Southridge, and Teresa nor I will be pastors
Oh, I didn't know that
in
about Teresa. That's news
2023.
to me. Okay.
Yeah. So we are both stepping back, and you know, I do say thank you to you, Donald, for asking me to do this interview, because Teresa and I've kind of struggled with this decision for months now, what we were going to do, and there's so much guilt related to kind of stepping back and saying, I really need a break. And then when you said,
You serve for 15 years. I think you can let go of the
right,
guilt a
but
little bit.
it's still
But
there. And
okay.
but when you asked me to do this, and I started reflecting on really more deeply why I'm making this decision, I started feeling better about it. So thank you for encouraging me to reflect. And we had made the decision, but again, there was just a lot of what's going to happen now? And we know that Southridge will continue on. There will be strong leadership. We know that will continue to happen. And both Teresa and I have said that we're not going away just because you choose to not be a pastor or serve on the pastor team. is it doesn't mean that you never show up anymore.
How are you feeling with your decision to step back? Do you feel like you have more time? Do you feel more joy? Do you feel less burden? Have you managed to let go of your guilt? Um, what are you feeling right now?
Well, it was interesting because yesterday we did have the elections at Southridge, and I thought, oh, am I going to be overcome with regret when I mean, and we're still serving until the end of this calendar year.
Right.
So but I feel very I do feel a sense of freedom, and I think and I feel good about it. And you know, we've been talking discernment for the last few years in so many ways, and this was the result of a lot of discernment on the part of both Teresa and I for, you know, which direction we should go. And one of the things that you learn about in discernment is when you feel a real peace with your decision, then probably that's the right direction to go. And I do feel a real sense of peace. I did bring a couple of, you know, we had a pastor's retreat the end of September, I think it was,
Yep.
up at the campgrounds. And there were a couple of quotes which I hung on to.
Is this the wisdom that you're
oh
about
yeah,
to
this is the wisdom part. So this is a quote by Elise Boulding. It says, if one is mentally or spiritually out of breath all the time from dealing with the present, there is no energy left for imagining the future. And that, when I obviously that meant something to me because I've held on to this, but I feel like that's the way my life has been as a pastor for the last few years, is constantly out of breath and a little depleted. And so, you know, and one of the things that I've always enjoyed in my ministry is I like to offer things in a little bit of a creative way, or you know, just a little bit different. And when you feel like you're just putting one foot in front of the other, it doesn't, you I don't know, it's not good for you, and it's not good for the people that you're serving. So.
Well, thank you, Faye. I think we're about out of time, but I do appreciate your candid answers today, and I really hope that you find what you're looking for, and you find that pace that you seem to be describing. So,
well, thank you.
You're welcome, and we will see you at communion.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Bye.
All right.